In Washington, President Biden facing a bumpy road ahead as he's set to travel across the country this week to sell his $2 trillion infrastructure plan, not just to the American people, but to hesitant Republican lawmakers. Joining me now, Congresswoman Carolyn Bourdeaux, Democrat from Georgia. She sits on the Transportation and Infrastructure and Small Business Committees, which makes you the perfect person to talk about this. Thank you for joining me, Congresswoman. You met with the president, I know, last week, and that's when he came to Georgia. He was trying to sell his infrastructure and jobs plan. What do you make of the president's proposal overall, and would it deliver what the people of your district need?
So I think overall, his ideas are being very well received. Anybody who sits on traffic on I-85 in the Atlanta area or the downtown connector 400 just knows how desperately we need infrastructure investment. And I know there's also a real realization in my district that we need to invest in our people as well. We need childcare, education, healthcare. All those are really important issues. People in my district, though, are very pragmatic, and they also want to see that it's paid for, and we've really thought carefully about the cost of what we're buying here. But I think there's plenty of room to come together and really put together a good proposal.
Okay. So to that point, and based on the criticism about the price, more than $2 trillion, that's just for the infrastructure bill alone. As a member of the Transportation and Infrastructure Committee, you know very well the problems that we're facing. Do you think that spending is necessary to fully fix America's infrastructure, or do you think, as some Republicans are suggesting, that there are some unnecessary provisions?
Well, there are a number of very important pieces, and we really need that kind of investment to unlock economic opportunity so that we are globally competitive. And of course, very important here is climate change. And we need to be making these investments so that we are quickly getting to a carbon neutral economy. So there are several really important pieces in here. Just a week or so ago, I was with the Problem Solvers, which is a bipartisan group where we were sitting down and looking at the different parts of the infrastructure package. And there was quite a lot of bipartisan agreement about many pieces of that package. And so I'm looking forward to continuing to go through the legislation with people on both sides, as well as within my own caucus, to really sit down and assess the different pieces and what is going to be critical for economic development going forward and critical for addressing climate change.
Okay. Let's move to what the president did on Wednesday, urging Congress to have a police reform bill on his desk by May 25th. That's not a lot of time, just a little over 3 weeks. Formal bipartisan talks have certainly begun, but there are a lot of sticking points left. Do you think it is realistic to believe that a compromise could happen, again, in 3 weeks and change here? How much do you think Democrats should give in and try to compromise with Republican demands?
Well, I am optimistic. I think this bill is very important, the George Floyd Justice and Policing Bill, to helping restore confidence in our policing and rebuild that trust between the Black community and our police forces. So I am hopeful that something will get moving. And I've heard that Karen Bass, who is one of the leaders in the Congressional Black Caucus, is having a lot of really good meetings with people on both sides of the aisle on the Senate side. So I am hopeful that we can come to a resolution. I think one of the sticking points is qualified immunity. And they're just kind of trying to come up with a way where we hold police accountable. But I know some police are scared on the other side that this will mean any little thing that they could be personally liable for. But I do think there are some solutions there to hold the police accountable, but, make sure that they are able to do their job effectively as well.
Yeah, well, I think it's encouraging that you say Congresswoman Karen Bass's efforts are being met, well received at this point. That's great to hear. Let me talk about something that we first saw in Georgia. We're now seeing it in several states, that being new laws making it harder for eligible citizens to vote. Most recently, the Florida state legislature has advanced a bill. What do you make of this push for more voting restrictions? I mean, not just in your state, but really on a national level.
Well, coming out of Georgia, we have a real it's a very frustrating process here. And this is not the beginning for us. We have been dealing with voting rights issues for many years now and have just had ongoing litigation. I have been involved in litigation to try to make sure that our voting is fair and accessible to everybody. And this is all grounded in a lot of misinformation about what happened in November, a lot of misinformation where Unfortunately, Republicans are claiming that the election was somehow fraudulent, which is incorrect. And then as a result of that, they are then passing this legislation that is really going to make it more difficult for people to vote, and particularly for people of color to vote. And it is very frustrating to watch this unfold.
Yeah, okay. Congresswoman Carolyn Bourdeaux, it's good to see you. Thank you so much. Come see me again.